it going, everyone? It's Liam Carson here. It's time for the penultimate episode of Heartstopper Season 3. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this season so much. I think it is definitely I think it's definitely the strongest season that has been developed out of the three. It's just been really, really incredible stuff, especially with Charlie's story. And yeah, it was a really, really great episode last time around with Charlie's birthday coming around. But also, there were like some very, very important notes, especially with Elle's story and how she was tricked basically in regards to the interview that she appeared on, because of the fact that, well, you know, she thought she was going in there to talk about her social media and her art, but it was all part of a plot to talk about Elle and you know, her life being transgender and all of that. And yeah, it was just really, really moving, moving stuff in terms of Elle defending herself and trans people out there as well. You know, the fact that they're not a debate, they are human at the end of the day. And yeah, I do worry that either this episode or next episode, we're going to see, you know, further, I guess, detriments to how Elle, you know, I guess has handled the interview, because, as I said, it might come to a point where she might be put off from either doing more interviews in the future, or, you know, even being hesitant about continuing her work. So, yeah, and I don't want that to impact Elle, because we know how talented Elle is, and it would just be very, very, very sad stuff if one asshole who decided to manipulate Elle ruins, you know, Elle's life, really. So, you know, she's only young at the end of the day, and the fact that, you know, she was a target, really, it's just really, really ridiculous. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into this episode, so why don't we get into episode 7 of Heartstopper Season 3? Let's go. Look at this, look at the love that he has for Charlie. Oh.
Nick?
That just... Oh my god, he's just so... Like these intense feelings for Nick. Oh man. He's just so in awe.
Drive you to ballet if you want. I'm not doing anything most Saturdays anyway.
Oh, Nick, you don't have to.
No, I want to.
I mean, that would sound like a pain.
Anyway,
free buses.
What's going on with you? I feel like we haven't.
That said, I took free buses to college.
How are you and Charlie?
And how bad can it really be?
I don't know. I feel like I don't know anything.
Oh, just have sex with him, please. So we can stop hearing about it.
Tal's like, I don't want to do this. Yeah, it's only a cucumber.
I think that losing your virginity is that big of a deal.
Yeah, but it would be for him, wouldn't it? For his ego.
Because it's the first time you're having sex. Like, that is a big deal. I mean, I know the concept of virginity is bullshit, but like, I'm still nervous.
Yeah, it's understandable.
We are now going to look at some images of STIs.
Oh, lovely. Oh, lovely.
Calm down. I don't blame you for being nervous. I mean, that's normal.
Exactly.
Easy to say. Perfect, effortless thing. But it's me and Elle, and we love each other. And if it's awkward, we can just laugh about it.
Exactly. It's not gonna, like...
I mean, it's supposed to be fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not gonna be perfect and all... Oh my god, the cucumber. It's not gonna be, like, all perfect and whatnot. But there is that assurance to Charlie.
No, you shouldn't.
Doesn't matter. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
It's just so shattered and it just breaks your heart. Can we not get a second interviewer, like someone who isn't transphobic? Oh no.
Don't come in!
Oh, for crying out loud.
Sorry, I didn't know he was here.
I mean, at least David had the decency to say sorry. That's one plus we can say to him.
Is there anything I could do to make you feel better?
Just hugs. Lots of hugs. Goodness.
Campaigning starts in the autumn.
Oh?
I think you should apply.
Oh!
Really? Why?
Well, you're smart, you're a strong person, and I think you could do a lot of good for the kids at this school.
Oh!
Students who would find it inspiring to see you as head boy.
Oh!
That's all.
I'll think about it. Promise.
I love how these two have given Charlie their support. Oh! He would definitely be inspired. Oh! No, I'm not getting emotional. I'm not getting emotional. Oh, man.
He would fight the world for me, but he just can't properly understand.
Just how difficult it is, you know, as a trans woman.
He might understand.
My advice is that a sleepover is unnecessary for the activity in question.
I love him.
I hope you do get to have your sex sleepover.
Thank you.
Michael, can you stop talking about...
He's gonna try and cheer her up, isn't he? He's looking at the good bits and then there's, of course, the interview and... yeah, cheer her up.
Charlie being ill was tough for you. You don't have to be the strong one all the time. Trust me, I learnt that the hard way.
Why'd you have to be so smart?
I'm glad we're seeing, like, we're opening the idea of exploring Nick's struggles.
To explore being non-binary if it weren't for you. I mean, probably would have got around to it eventually, but you.
This has made things a bit more easier.
Easy and joyful.
Oh.
Non-binary.
Just be careful.
I don't know why I love this. This is where Charlie's gonna be like, so.
And you've been very ill.
Mum, seriously, what are you so worried about? We all love Nick.
Tori, I'm not... You know what? we'll talk about this once your exams are over, Charlie.
Heck.
I'm not a
I
child.
mean, you got Tori trying to support.
If I want to see my boyfriend, then I will. You can't stop me.
Heck.
When Charlie was really ill and I made him that little video, it was the first time I felt like I could create something that put joy into the world.
I love that
I guess I never really thought of myself as a creative person before that.
Never seen. She will always be the
Tao.
I'm just scared you won't get it.
I'll try.
You can listen and
I'll always try.
be there for you. Oh. My heart.
Nick? I need a distraction. Yeah.
You know what? I was gonna make the mention.
Nick, please don't leave me behind.
Oh. Oh no. Oh no.
Hi. Hi.
It's funny, I was just thinking about you.
I should have texted. Sorry. It's fine.
You know, to quote Palpatine,
okay?
it's a
What's
surprise
wrong?
to be sure, but a welcome one.
It's nothing. No. What do you mean?
He's gonna be there for you. Come on, you can talk it out.
I can't talk to anyone else like I talk to you.
Oh.
Basically, I'm just freaking out.
Oh. I thought we were seeing, you know, Nick's struggles. I mean, obviously you do feel so bad for him, but he's opening up. Oh damn, we're going for it.
You came here all upset and I made it all about me.
Oh no.
Nick. Do you want to carry on? We don't have to if you don't want to. This is literally the only thing I've been able to think about.
Oh wow. Wow. I'm just gonna get it over with, aren't they? 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I think we're at the end of the episode, but yeah. I just knocked something off because it's getting intense! Holy damn! Oh man. It's all well and good. Anyways, yeah, so big important step in that relationship for Nick and Charlie. So yeah, and you know what? I really loved the way it was handled, because it wasn't just this episode, but of course, the last episode when Charlie was coming on to Nick, and you know, there was that, of course, talk in regards to, you know, well, Nick not wanting to go through with it because of the fact that he was a bit drunk and he didn't want to, like, he didn't want to have that first moment between them two to be, you know, when Charlie was vulnerable. So, yeah, but you know, even in this episode, with the way it was handled, obviously, like I said, Nick was he was so focused on wanting this moment with Charlie, and he was so distracted, and yeah, and it was more so waiting for that right time as well. But even when they went to do the do, I guess, there was a nice layer of respect when it came to Nick making sure that Charlie was okay. Not just because it was, you know, like you just want to make sure that your first time with your partner is going to be okay for them. You don't want to put them off or anything like that. But also, he knows where Charlie's story has gone through. It's not just, of course, the sex itself, but it's also Charlie's story, because, of course, he's been very dismissive about his own body. And it really does add a new layer to the relationship that they've had for Nick and Charlie. So it was just really amazing stuff. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed, like I said, the way that they that they portrayed them two going through it, because of course they were both consenting adults. I know that, like, I think they're both 16, and that does hit the age of consent in the UK. So I know it differs to anywhere else. So, like, people overseas might not be aware and all of that. But just putting it out there, and it is really great that they waited until that moment where they were both over the age of consent. So I know there are going to be occasions where there will be underage sex, etc., and all of that. So yeah, but it was just really you know, great stuff for them to handle that step, that, I guess, very important step with such grace and all of that. So, because there's going to be, you know, people that's going to be bragging about it, like Harry. But I mean, it's nothing to really boast on too much about. I mean, yeah, it is very important. It can be very nervous, but the bragging rights you just never get. Like, oh, I got laid. Good for you. You want a medal? But yeah, I felt like with the way that they handled things for Nick and Charlie, especially with, like, other characters as well, and how they were involved, whether it's characters that are not part of the main ensemble or whether, you know, they are, like with Tara. And, you know, I really love the dynamic between her and Nick as well. It's not the first time this season that they have, you know, had important conversations. It is just really great that that the way that they've had this story come about in terms of Nick and Charlie having sex. It was done with grace. It was done really well. So, and yeah, it wasn't just like handled like in an immature light or anything like that. There was just some important conversations that were had. And, you know, even for, I would say, Charlie, for example, yeah, I mean, there, like, for me, I was worried that there would be worries in regards to, you know, if things are not going to be perfect and all of that. I know, like I said, I know Charlie has been struggling with his body image and all of that, and you don't want anything to kind of, like, I guess, ruin the moment and all of that, but at the end of the day as well, it's also important to note that, well, even with the first time and all of it's not gonna, don't expect it to be perfect or whatever. This is like a big step in regards to that relationship, and this is just going to be touching areas where you know, we haven't it's going to be very important you know, steps and areas that you know, I guess practice will take perfect on, really. So, because, yeah, I guess that's it, really. But, again, you don't expect things to be perfect, right? And that is really, that's really important. That it's okay for it to, yeah, not be perfect. But it's also important to know that if this is something that both parties want, that they really want, and then that's all well and good. So, it doesn't matter if it's going to be perfect or whatever. So, like, yeah, it is true that you can, you know, have moments where you can probably laugh about it, but at the end of the day, as long as you're both happy about taking that important step, it's all well and good. So, yeah, but, yeah, I mean, it will be very great to go into that next episode and all of that, because there are going to be certain bits and pieces that I feel like we're going to conclude things on in regards to certain character arcs. Like Nick, I do love the fact that we are focusing on, like, obviously this season has been focused on Charlie and his struggles, but of course Nick is not going to be immune to that, and we're seeing him struggle with, you know, where he goes next in terms of education, but also about his bisexuality and how all of this time before he knew he was bi, it felt like he was living a lie in a sense. He was like, well, it was like he was putting on a front, wasn't he? And he wants to be himself. Like he said to Charlie, he feels like even with his mates, there does seem to be this pressure, in a sense, like this weight on his shoulder to be himself. So, and it is just very amazing to see, like, again, like Tara, for example, just be very supportive, because you go back to episode 4 when she gave that advice for Nick to jot down in the journal. It is it is really nice to see how. I mean, I say it's nice to see, because what I do really love about, well, one of the aspects I do love about the show is how well done, you know, the writing is in terms of exploring characters and how they are facing their issues and all of that. And yeah, it will be emotional, it will be soul-crushing, but I do really like how we do focus on that and how it handles it with, you know, with such grace and all of that. So yeah, and it is just really it was just really important for you know, him to address his concerns about, like, not just, you know, for his concerns for Charlie's, physical health and all of that, of course. Like I said, the whole eating disorder situation is not going to be done just like that. That's still going to be a worry. But you even, have that moment where, like, he's contemplating where he goes next for his next step in education, and there's that moment where, he's just imagining Charlie begging him not to go. So, and it is just really, really, it is just really, really heartbreaking, isn't it, when it comes to Nick's story, really, and how he has really, really struggled this season. But I mean, it's done really, really well. So yeah, but and I do love the fact that he can talk to Nick about he feels like Nick. He can talk to Charlie, should I say, Nick, about his everything. So, but it is also very important to see Nick display those anxieties and all of that, rather than just bottle it up, because obviously that is not all well and good, is it? In terms, I know I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite because I always bottle shit up as well. But he's got someone so supportive for Charlie, in Charlie, should I say, and it's just great that he's just there, being supportive, listening, etc. And for Nick to talk about how he hides behind that mask, he does struggle to open up, and there is that isolation, really, and it is just really, I mean, yeah, he does have Charlie to vent this towards, but when he's hanging around with his friends and all of that, and it does feel like that pressure on his shoulders. So but and it does hurt that he does talk about the repression. So yeah, but yeah, really, really great stuff to delve into that layer of Nick, and not just his concern, like it's not just how he's been grappling with his concerns for Charlie, but himself as well, really. So yeah, but yeah, I also, Tao was just really incredible in this episode. As I feared, there was going to be a huge there was going to be a huge surge of discouragement in Elle's eyes in regards to continuing her work. And I really, really loved Tao's efforts to, make that video, etc. And yeah, it was going to be I wouldn't say it does sound a bit vulgar to say a copy-paste job from, what he did in episode 4, but I mean, there's a reason for that, which we'll get onto in a moment, but I do want to talk about Elle first and how she's been so discouraged and everything, and it's just heartbreaking. I mean, it's not just, of course, the interview that went into a complete shit show, but it's also just the issues that that transgender people face all across the world. It does become very, very heartbreaking. She just wants to be who she is. She just wants to be someone who's accepted, someone who's human, because she is human at the end of the day. But we see so many bigoted people who just try to. It's not just Elle, but it's so many bigoted people who just want to destroy, transgender people, and it's just really heartbreaking. You saw her scroll through those articles and all of that, and it's just like, it is just really, really hard. And I can understand that Elle can voice her worries about Tao not getting it, because obviously with Tao, he can't, he can listen and he can be supportive. It does worry, doesn't it, that, he might not understand, obviously, the weight on it is a justifiable concern, because there is a huge amount of weight on her shoulders as someone who is a trans woman and someone who, you know, is like I even said it in the last episode, like this year, like even in 2024, you still see so many vile and vulgar comments because people are just that bigoted. They can't accept the truth that, you know, trans people are still human at the end of the day. They mean no harm, and they are just acting out on ignorance. So yeah, and it is going to be understandable that Elle's just going to worry that no one could understand her struggles out of her circle, because well, she's got her friends in education, of course, but you know, people like Tao, everyone really within, I guess, the main cast and all of that, there is concerns about vocalizing her worries and all of that. So yeah, but I gotta say though, Tao's like, because Elle was in a very, very difficult place where she felt like, because it did feel like she felt like she regressed to nothing in a sense when, you know, with the interview, because she was not motivated to do her art, and you know, all those factors that made Elle who she is. It felt like, you know, they've been kicked and punched and all of that, because she just felt completely lost because of the fact that she was worried about, like, she was hurting about the fact that you know, there was that bigoted interview, and it's not just her, like I said, in regards to, you know, who's going to be vocalizing these transphobic comments and all of that, but it's also the fact that she's just demotivated to do her art and all of that. And Tao, being the knight in shining armor, just did that video, because what I was thinking when it came to that video was, this is a good reminder to who Elle is, someone who's powerful, someone who's so talented, and someone who means a lot. And yeah, with Tao, he's able to not just remind Elle about how amazing she is, but it's also it also helps him out as well, because he's been on a journey himself in regards to trying to discover who he is, with what I'll mention in a moment. But he was not thinking about himself making the video. He was thinking about Elle and picking her back up on her feet, because she is so defeated, she is so helpless. And yeah, Tao was a knight in shining armor, so and it is a really, really great showcase for Tao to have Elle remember who she is. So yeah, but for Tao, it is really, really nice to see that this is his this is his calling, the video making, because like I said, yeah, some people might think it's a copy paste job, but again, you don't want to, because it sounds vulgar, but it's not. He was able to send some positivity in the form of, you know, his video making with to Charlie, should I say, when he was going through absolute shit, and he applied the same thing to Elle when she was going through shit. And it's just really, really great, because, you know, I do get Tao in regards to what he's doing and how it can make an impact, because he wants to make people happy, etc. I do get it, because of this. I mean, I don't, the thing is, I don't know how this is still warm. It's been like, what, an hour nearly, but yeah, anyways, I digress. But yeah, the thing is, I do get it. Like, I don't know how long I would have envisioned, like, when I began reacting and all of that, I don't know how long I would have envisioned doing this, but here I am, year 10, and you know, I still have that same drive, that same love that I could make, you know, people entertained and all of that, especially when it came when it came to COVID and all of that. During the pandemic, everyone was locked down, etc. You know, one of the most important things was to keep pushing, etc., and to make people happy and all of that. That was one of the most important, because 2020 was a year of hell for me as well, and it's not just, of course, the pandemic and all of that, but for personal reasons. And I still had that drive, even if I was facing my own certain struggles. I still had that drive to continue making people happy, etc. Even if I was living through one of the worst years of my life, it was still very important. And it was still very, very amazing. It was very fulfilling to make videos and to make people happy. And yeah, we're I guess worst of it when it comes to COVID, but that doesn't mean I'm throwing all of those ideals away. It's still something that is very meaningful. This is something that, you know, I thought I would try because I was inspired by two amazing gals. This is something I thought I would try and see how it would pan out because it was fun. It turned into something that, you know, was very, very motivating in terms of inspiring. And I get it for Tao. I get it. So, yeah. But yeah, and I do want to go back to Charlie as well in regards to how he's been, you know, nominated for Head Boy as well, with Mr. Ajay and Mr. Farouk. I loved that moment though, like when Farouk was talking about, when he backed up Mr. Ajay's nomination, about how, you know, people would be very, very inspired. And he was just, and it just, I got teary-eyed, I'm not going to lie, because he was just thinking about himself, how if he was the same age as Charlie, or younger, should I say, he would definitely be inspired by Charlie, and it's just really, really powerful stuff. It is just really, really amazing. And I know this season has been very, very tough for Charlie. But to see, you know, those two nominate Charlie for being Head Boy, I mean, it just shows how much strength that they see in Charlie, and that is so true, because this is not going to be an easy thing, this eating disorder situation. It's not going to be an easy situation for Charlie to overcome, but, you know, he's such a role model, even for the teachers, that, yeah, they're not as young as they, but it is just something inspiring, I would say. They are still saying that, even though that, you know, we're not 15, 14, whatever, we still are inspired by how strong you are, how far you've come, and it's just, so, yeah, but it was really, really great, this episode. I'm excited to see what the final episode's going to showcase. I'm nervous as well, because, I mean, it could end on a very, very heartbreaking note, but, I mean, the ending of this episode, see, that's it though. Is the ending of this episode just like, well, we're gonna end happily with Nick and Charlie doing the do, because when we end the next episode, you'll be bawling your eyes out. That's my main worry. I don't know. I think I'm just so burnt by, you know, there's so much emotion when it comes to show and all of that. I'm so burnt with moments where you think, okay, well, things can't get any worse, and then the penny drops and it does get worse. So, but I have faith that this season end happy note, and yeah, we'll see if we can set things up for season 4, because I don't think season 4 has been commissioned yet, so it should, but we'll see. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I'll see you guys next time. Toodles!